Hello, everyone. Welcome to my podcast. I am your host, Medusa Asada. I'm here to give fire signs a general reading for this week. Keep in mind, fire signs, this is a general reading, so it may or may not resonate with you. And also, this reading will be timeless. I will be pulling energies from the past, present, and future, so just take it however it resonates, only if it resonates. Fire signs, if you're interested to see what the cards have in store for you this week, then definitely stay tuned. All right, fire signs. So that is Libra, Aries, Sagittarius energy. We're going to start off by pulling the external energies that may be affecting you by ways of people, places, or things, situationships, relationships, partnerships, solorships. And although throughout the reading I may pull a particular zodiac sign, it may represent you, person of interest, timeline, or influence. So do check your houses if you're into that sort of thing. Make sure you read the description of the episode so you know everything you need to know. And disclaimer, I'm just a regular person who loves to pull cards and interpret it to the best of my ability, so don't ever feel obligated to listen to anything I say. Do your own research. You can hear some noise in the background. I do apologize. There's a fan blowing directly behind me, so hopefully that doesn't distract you. With everything else being said, let's get started here. Okay, so there's this need here to see things for what it truly is. Okay, there might be some trickster kind of energy here, like an illusion or something like that. It's kind of like a painting, right? It's kind of like a painting, and it's reminding me, it's giving me this feeling I used to have in English class, I think my senior year. I had this English teacher, and just, for funsies, she would have us read poems or like look at pictures or paintings and interpret it, like try and see what it means or whatever the case may be. And so I feel like when it comes down to that, it's like that kind of feeling where a person may feel as if it could mean things. Like it's like when there was I think a video I saw where a person was talking about like blue curtains and some kind of play or whatever, and they was talking about like what the professor would interpret what the blue curtains might mean, as opposed to what the author's like true intentions were when they said the blue curtains. Like it would, like for the professor, it's like something more deeper and meaningful and isolated and lonely and depressing, whereas the author chose blue curtains because it just wanted blue curtains kind of thing. Like it really feels like that. Okay, so yes, with this Mambo card here, we have this need for accurate perception of something, and it's like no one else's opinion, right? Because it's like no one else's opinion other than what the intent of the thing wanted the opinion to be, or whatever. Like it kind of feels like that. It's just straightforward. It's not that deep, something like that. Or if it is deep, it's like getting to the source and asking the source is what I'm trying to say here. Okay, so yes. All right, so let's see here. We also have here, okay, the strength card, so the possession card. Okay, so Leo energy. So I feel like when it comes down to this card here, there may be, when I was thinking about like multiple opinions or multiple ways of trying to break down something here, this could be an internal kind of struggle here. Okay, it could be an internal kind of struggle, or it could be dealing with like like external people here. Either way, it's like when a person recognizes the truth for the matter, is this energy of standing firm, standing strong on that. Okay, because I do see some second guessing here. Okay, and so yes. Then we have here readiness. Okay. So I feel like this could be internal here. Because there is a part of a person who wants to explore, right? Like an imagining of some sort, when it comes down to a particular situation. So there needs to be a bit of a balance here where it's like not, it's like one side doesn't outweigh the other. Okay. And so, yeah, let's see what's going on here. It's kind of like when people like do tarot or something like that, right? Where it's really about like pulling or channeling, personally channeling energies, the best way that they can, and having faith that those channels are, a good system for them. When I used to do tarot before, in the beginning, I should say, it was really difficult for me to stand on what I said because it was just so like, well, I don't know. Like, what if I'm wrong? Or like, what if this doesn't resonate and stuff like that. At this point, I've gotten really, really comfortable with like saying what I say. And then like, it's like, if it resonates, it resonates. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But like, I really, truly believe in the things that I say and the things that I feel and the things that I experience when I'm sitting here in my little corner and I'm pulling these cards. Like, this has become real to me. And so it like, and that could be, this could mean, sorry, I was moving in my chair. This could mean different things for different people in different walks in their lives, you know, like, it's not just about tarot. You know I make a lot of examples and stuff like that. Just like, these are just examples. It's like, apply it to your life if it resonates, you know. So let's get into the archetypes. Let's see what's going on here. All right, so we have here gossip here in the reverse, shows shadow attributes, thrives on the power of passing on private or secret information, betraying confidence. Okay. This is coming across as like, having a conversation about something that a person doesn't have faith in. Okay. I feel like the portraying of confidence is in regards to oneself. This could also be like literal, like gossiping about other people or whatever the case may be. But let's see. Let's get one more here. But I feel like it all derives from a person is just not insecure in whatever it is that they are having to believe in. We have Prince here, light attribute, romantic charm, and potential for power. Okay. Immediately when I flipped this card over, it felt like dealing with masculine energy here. I feel like for some, it could be this energy of like kidding oneself into thinking that something is there when it's not, in order to sugarcoat or cover up for like the true feeling, true matters of the situation here. We have the Princess of Swords. All right, so Libra energy. Okay. Ooh, okay. I feel like there is some kind of like, there's like some information here. There's some information here. And it's kind of feels like it's kind of giving me like secret scrolls or something like that, where it's like it's coming across two ways here. Is as like a presentation, okay? It's like, I have this if you want it, but then it's like you have to get through me in order to get it. Now, depending on where a person is in their walk of life, they could be meeting someone who has some information here. And it's like, there's going to have to be some kind of sacrifice here, right? Where it's like not literal bloodshed, hopefully, but it's like, in order for you to get this information, you have to go through me. It feels like that. Okay. And then on the other side is more so along the lines of like a person has like traveled a long ways to retrieve some kind of information of some sort. And so there is a bit of a high and mightiness to them. Okay, let's see here. Let's see what's going on here. It's kind of like when a person seeks higher education and they feel, that confidence is there. Okay. Yeah, it's like when someone goes to some kind of like, takes some kind of like some class or some sort, or they learn something from their professor, and it becomes like their like talking points when dealing with like non-college folk. It's like you wouldn't understand. We have here death energy here, so Scorpio energy. Okay, there goes that sacrifice I was talking about. All right, let's see. So this could be some kind of before and after kind of thing. These cards are so slippery. All right, the Fool. All right. So this could be for some being met with a second chance of some sort. Okay, a new life kind of thing, but it comes at a price. What is the price? And so the bloodshed would represent, right, a person's level of commitment in regards to fulfilling that, the task at hand. So it's kind of like the never ending story, or those kind of movies where they have to go through some kind of rites of passage, right? Where they have to shed the old aspects of oneself, the old skin, right? Kind of like a reptile or like a snake or something like that, in order to receive the growth that a person actually needs to receive. So what does that mean in like human terms, right? Human activities, right? Well, it's this energy here where it's like, I'm not going to take you back until you stop doing X, Y, and Z. We can't hire you until you do that degree or take this course, or go through an internship program, or whatever the case may be. Like, it's kind of a thing where it's like having to, in order to get something, they need to do something first. They need to learn something first. They need to get rid of something first. They need to transform into something first before they can do whatever it is that they need to do. Okay. In order for a relationship to change, there's this need to have to do something first in order to receive that change or a higher shift in a relationship, right? So it's like, I can't take us seriously until you start taking yourself seriously. I can't, one of the things that I learned for me in my relationship, just in a lot of ways, I had to realize that I needed to be I had to more so change a lot of my ways, because I saw in a lot of ways how people kind of mirrored me, or it was like I was more so, it was like it was my world and everyone was just living in it in that sense. And once I started to communicate properly, truthfully, and honestly, and be more compassionate and nurturing, once I started implementing these traits into my relationships, I started to see how my relationships with my partner, my relationship with my mother changed over time. When I was in the relationship with my partner and I was being petty and full of resentment and just bitter and more so in regards to self-preservation and all that stuff like that, I saw how he mirrored that in that way. And he started to just think about himself and worry about himself and kind of mirror the behaviors that I displayed. And then once I changed and I started to say, okay, I'm not doing this anymore. And this was a decision I made for myself, right? But it's also something that it's been relayed to me many of times. But I said, you know what, I'm going to do this because at this point I'm hurting myself as well. I started to see how the dynamic in our relationship shifted. In a lot of ways, I am the dominant force within our relationship. And when we are in relationships where there is, now when I say dominant force, it's not that, in a lot of ways I do rule the relationship, but I don't think about it that way. It's kind of like when an emperor or empress rules a kingdom. It's like you're not thinking about it from that standpoint, because the emperor or empress or king or queen is on the same level as the people. Okay, without the people, there is no throne. Okay, and the people need the throne in order to implement order and structure and discipline and laws and all that stuff like that. If not, things would be chaotic, as we know so far. It's kind of like the song on Watch the Throne. I forgot, what is it? I forgot. What's a king to a god? What's a god to a non-believer who don't believe in anything? Like, it's like kind of like that kind of structure where it's like these things are just more so like they're just titles, but once that willingness, right, that willingness to believe in a structure or a dynamic of some sort, once it's gone, it literally means nothing. What is a wife to a husband, right? If the husband is out there frolicking in everyone's fields, okay? What's a husband to a wife, or vice versa, okay? Because I got confused there, but you know what I mean, right? And so it's really understanding that there's no real higher up type things. We're all equal, but I will say in my relationships, what gives my relationship power is how much I'm willing to put into it, how much I'm willing to give power to it. And I do understand that in certain times in my relationship, in my lifetime, I've realized that I understand that my relationships meant nothing at times, just simply because I deemed it so. And I had so much anger in my heart that I was able to utilize that to kind of believe in that. Okay? Just like a person can believe that they're in love with someone and they don't even know them. You think about fans and stans, like they love these celebrities, but these celebrities don't even know them, right? Like, how does that happen? And so I feel like when it comes down to this situation, I hope I was able to land the plane there, because, you know, I've been told many a times that, like, I can take off. I just can't land the plane. So it's this energy here, okay, where it's just like, what are you willing to put in? What are you willing to put out, right, in order to obtain whatever it is that you're trying to obtain here? Okay, if this is a relationship that you want to have, what are you willing to do for this relationship? What are you willing to give up in order to maintain and have this relationship? And sometimes it's like, it's a no-brainer, right? But then sometimes it's not. You know, like, I know people who want to be in solid, committed relationships, but then time and time they're met with the opportunity to do that, but they are talking to other people, and so it's hard to let them go, and it's hard to let that lifestyle go, because it's like, what if that doesn't work out? What if someone else is that I'm talking to happens to be the one and they're just not ready yet? So it's like that, right? Same thing with like school and, you know, having to make that leap of faith. And it's just like stepping out on faith here. There's no guarantee I'm going to reach a safe landing. Who knows what's waiting at the bottom for me, or what's waiting on the other side for me. So I understand where, you know, things can kind of like be, but that this death here is like, what are you willing to do? The challenge here is the 5 of Swords. So it kind of feels like, right, it's like betting on your last dollar. It's like, I'm not sure if this is going to pan out. Like, maybe a person has bet their last dollar before and it just didn't work out. And so it's like, now I'm met with this situation again. And it's like, what am I willing to do? Am I willing to try this again? Or maybe they didn't even do it, but they heard stories about it. So like, it really feels like a person is really out of touch when it comes down to what could potentially happen moving forward. And that's the beauty of life in general. If we had all the answers, would we live life the way that we would live life, how we're living now? Right? And it's like, oh, of course, like I would still have fun. It'll make it easier to have all the answers while I'm doing it. It'll save so much, right? But then it's like when you look at a movie and it's like, you know what the movie is about because someone told you what the movie is about. You're not going to be able to enjoy it, right, to its fullest capacity, to your fullest capacity, right? If you go into something already knowing what's going to happen, right? And so, yeah. And I know I understand this because I've read books, or I've listened to other people review books, and then I went in and I read the book, and it's just not the same. And so I see why people don't like spoilers, or they like people to warn them that spoilers are ahead so that, you know, they can avoid those things, because it definitely sucks the fun out of the true experience that that life offers, or that anything offers, really. All right. And so with this Five of Discs, there's paranoia here, I feel. And so it's this energy here where it's like, I don't even know, right? Like, a person just wants to have the answers. They don't like the games. They just want to know. All right. And so that's so funny. I was thinking about this card as I was getting ready for bed. We have the Queen of Discs here, so Virgo energy. And when she came to me when I was getting ready, I was like, oh, she feels bougie today. And I feel like with this Queen of Discs, it's like, yes, really very much bougie energy. Okay. And so if I see the Ten of Swords, yikes. Because that's another thing that came to mind as well. And if it comes, then I'll discuss that energy. But the Queen of Swords really feels bougie, really feels like don't need a man, don't need a woman, whatever, don't need anybody. I got my monies, I got my tangibles, so I don't need anything. And it's very much this energy of just being heavily invested in things that don't necessarily really truly bring out the true pleasures in life. Okay. Or more, it's like everlasting kind of like stuff as well. All right, so let's see. What's the foundation here? The Magician card. Oh. Hang on a second. Y'all doing too much cards. All right, this one fell. I got to go get it. 1 second. All right, so with the foundation, we have the Magician card. 7 of Swords, nine of Swords, 3 of Swords, 9 of Wands in the reverse. Okay, so over time, a person has learned to, or has adapted to, culminate and live through a state, or being in a state of mistrust. What does that mean? It's kind of like when you go into an area and there's a scent there, but you stay there for a really long time to the point where the scent goes away. But that's the thing. It does, like, it's like, does it go away? Right? Or does it still exist, but a person is used to the smell? This is the energy that I'm getting here with this, where it's like a person is used to a particular way of thinking with all these swords here. Okay. And so therefore, like, being, okay. And we start off here with the Magician card, and the Magician card is a very confident card, right? It's a very much self-accountable card. It's a very much I kind of card here. But it's a kind of thing that it feels like a person was confident. It starts off confident, okay? And then that confidence slowly deteriorates over time. But then a new kind of confidence is developed, but it's still from a lower deteriorating, or still derives, or is still being grown from the root of said low confidence. Okay? So I guess the best example I can give is when a person believes at first that they can do anything that they desire to do, right? And then over time, they hear no's a lot. They hear, you're not the right fit for this. They hear, you're not the person for this. You're not the man for the job. You don't have the look. You don't have the criteria. You don't have the credentials. All these kinds of, so, like over time in life, they hear these kinds of things, right? And then they say to themselves, okay, I'm going to do something where I'm going to go get a degree in whatever kind of field, and then I'm going to do that, and I'm going to dominate that field. So they get a degree in whatever field that they're doing, and then they have their job there, and then they're like dominating that field. Now, they're living their life. They're like, I'm on top. Everything is going well. I feel like a superwoman or a superman or whatever the case may be. Yada, yada, yada. That doesn't mean that they haven't healed. If anything, they found a way to escape that trauma, okay, of not being good enough. And they've created a safe haven, right? But it's like that trauma still exists, and that access to being told that they're not good enough or whatever, it's still there. But it's like a person has just created a safe haven, right? In that space still. Remember, we're talking about the matrix here. We're talking about the universe. We're talking about the earthly plane. We can't escape it, right? A person will understand what I mean when they are in their safe haven and they're able to dominate the field that they're in, and life is good. When they meet someone who provides them with triggering words, no, or you're not good enough, or whatever the case may be, and this person will either, okay, react from a space of running and hiding, or wanting to prove to that person that they're wrong. And that means that they're still shackled to that trauma, okay? And so the Seven of Swords here represents that energy that shows us that anything can be lurking, and it can come out anywhere. There's no escaping, there's no running, there's no hiding from these things, okay? And so a person understands that, but some may cover it up, right? And pretend it doesn't exist. But that aspect of ourselves is still there, right? It's embedded in our root chakra, all right? So it still exists. And so we build a layer in order to protect ourselves from it, or to learn how to adapt and move accordingly through that. We have the Nine of Swords here, where it's like, that triggering word, right? That triggering word exists rent-free in their heads, and it sits and it festers, and it's just lingering in this, beneath the surface. We have the Three of Swords here, where an emotion, right, from that trigger word, an emotion can spawn from it that'll cause a person to react as some kind of programmed AI, mind controlled, experimentee, okay, or like puppet type thing. Then we have here the Nine of Wands here, where it feels like, because that tether is still there, that Nine of Wands feels like a disabling kind of thing. It really feels like a person is under some kind of control here, and it comes from being stripped away from their true confidence. Okay, I know this sounds tin kufi, or tin what do you call it, the tin, not the tin hat, okay, like the tin kufi hat on. It sounds very conspiracy like, but it feels that way. And the reason why I say this is because, we are all being mind controlled, whether we do it to ourselves or we do it to other people, or other people are doing it to us. You got advertisements just all over the place. We can be mind controlled by the movies. We got influencers, just as much as like grains of salt on the beach. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got stars as much as the stars are in the sky. It's just so much that we're being heavily influenced by. I know I'm over exaggerating, but you get what I'm saying. So it's really hard to escape being programmed or being under mind control. And we are being mind controlled through our experiences as well. Okay? And so it's really about understanding, right? If a person has that false sense of confidence, but it's being overlaid by a new cover-up of confidence. It's like a new mask, a new persona, a new person, okay? And that false mask, or that quote-unquote presented new mask that a person has cultivated in order to maneuver through life, okay? Whether they excelled or they... the opposite of excelled, right? They didn't. It's this energy of it's like removing that mask and presenting to whoever, whether it's oneself, looking in the mirror, or someone else that's like, don't be fake with me. Don't pretend with me. Just be real with me, right? Whether that's we're saying it to ourselves, or someone is saying it to us, or we're saying it to someone else. But it really feels like a kind of personality in order to maneuver through life and just cover up all of the heartache and loss and heartbreak and just lack of understanding and insecurities, right, that a person possesses. And it's gotten so, the mask has been so worn to the point where if a person takes that mask off, they don't feel like themselves, which is really interesting. It's really interesting. Okay, so I hope that example made sense. Okay, so in the past, we have the Nine of Cups here. We also have here the Moon. All right, and then we also have here the Six of Wands. Like, a person has become very successful in creating an illusion of so-called happiness, so-called wish fulfillment. Okay, Moon, Pisces energy, and they have been really successful with that, right? So what do I mean by that? So it's like a person may go to college, or go to school, or go to a trade, or they go to school or whatever to pursue a particular kind of degree that's what they wanted to do. And then when they realize, when they go into the real world, that doesn't bring in real tangibles, okay, they're not going to sit and wait forever for that to turn around. They decide to go to a trading school and do something else and try and get money that way. But the thing is, what makes them successful in being able to do that is because they've convinced themselves that this is their golden ticket. This is their happily ever after. Okay. And so it becomes about that job in order to compensate for the inauthenticity, okay, of the happiness that they that a person tries to parade. They'll present it as something as amazing, right? So you'll hear people like they're constantly talking about their jobs. They're constantly talking about like what they did and what they do and all that stuff like that, where it's just like, at this point, are you trying to convince me that you're happy, or are you trying to convince yourself that you're happy there? Okay? Because we've heard billionaires say money does not bring you happiness. We've heard celebrities say money does not bring you happiness. Okay? So that's what it's feeling like to me here. Heart space in the upside down. Okay, we have here the Prince of Cups and the Hermit. Okay, so I feel like the Prince of Cups here and the Hermit is, there's a lot of fear here when it comes down to being open to going within oneself in order to discover the true answers. All right, because there's a bit of a shame. I wanted to say afraid, but it came out ashamed. There's a bit of a shame for some people, or a fear for some people, when they tap into who they are truly on the inside. Okay, they might even feel like they don't even have the answers. That mask is so glued on tight, right, that they don't even feel like they personally have the answers. Okay? This is like, what is that movie? The bodies, what is that? Invasion of the Body Snatchers kind of thing. It's like a person has gotten their bodies snatched, and now they're living out this life here. Okay? And it's really surface based. It's very much like, I go to work, I get paid, I get this monies, I do this, I do that. It's very much living for the pretend camera. Okay, it's like breaking the fourth wall. Sorry, I was moving my chair. It's like breaking the fourth wall, like in The Office or something like that. Or like, you know, like when Jim, right, he looks in the camera and stuff like that. But it's like living for that invisible camera. Okay, it really feels like that. And so what happens when the cameras stop rolling? Okay, what happens when the cameras stop rolling? So this could be a manifestation here where it's like a person doesn't like being by themselves. So they're always looking for something to do. But when somebody says, sit your behind down and go read a book or somewhere, or you know, take a nice bubble bath or something like that, or go clean your room, or go meditate or whatever. It's like, nah, I can't do that. I gotta be doing something, right? It's like, what do you, for what? Like, what are you trying to escape from? Okay. So it feels like that here. Let's see. Heart space in the upright. Oh, wow. There's a lot to unpack here. 10 of Cups in the reverse. The person's not really truly happy, or they may not even know what their happily ever after even is. We have the Prince of Wands. Okay, there's a lot of like non-believing kind of energy. 7 of Pentacles, impatience here. King of Swords here. Okay, 2 of Swords. All right, listen. Okay, sorry. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. I'm gonna just be honest here, because we're here to help. It really truly feels like here, like there's a lot to unpack here. Okay, there's a lot to unpack here. And this King of Swords here gives me a lot of leadership energy, but it's not giving leadership energy. Okay? And so it's kind of like when a person shows up somewhere and they think they own the place, or they like to feel like they run the place, where it's just like you're only here part-time, or you're only doing volunteer work, or whatever the case may be. It's one of the things that immediately I think about when Bobby Hemmett was talking about one time in one of his lectures. He was like, have you ever gone to the soup kitchen and you see melanated elder women who serve the food and they act like they own the place? So it kind of gives me that kind of energy with this King of Swords, right? So they're constantly like, I know. We're just like, when a person is trying to help them or say something, yeah, I know. And it's just like, do you know? Because it doesn't feel like you do with this Prince of Wands, aka Libra energy in the reverse. Okay, it doesn't feel like it. Okay, it's so much ego, so much boastful energy here. But there's a cowardice here. Okay, there's no honesty here when it comes down to this. Seven of Discs. Yeah, I was saying before, like a person needs to have something to do, right? That Seven of Discs feels like very much so. It's like even when it's required to just have downtime, a person is just doing something. Okay, and it could be things where it's like a person is being proactive in something that's not going to bear fruit, any kind of anything, but they're just participating in it because it just gives them something to do. Two of Swords is the inability to be silent within oneself in order to hear both aspects, light, right, dark aspects of self, right, and be on one accordance, okay, or be on one accord. Okay, and this could manifest in the physical when it comes down to, once again, when a person is trying to talk and help to kind of like expand or broaden a person's awareness or mind in regards to certain things. It's like it's in one ear and out the other. Either they're constantly talking back, yeah, I know, and it was like, but you're not listening. You're not receiving the information, okay? And so, yeah. Let's see here. It's a lot to unpack here, okay? It's a lot. So let's see what's going to go on in the future, what goes down in the future. We got the King of Cups, Scorpio energy here. We got a lot of cards. So Scorpio energy here. We have Two of Wands, Two of Discs, the Star Aquarius energy, Princess of Discs. Okay. Capricorn energy, and then we have the Strength here. Okay, Leo energy. So we come back full circle. So earlier we have Possession and then the Strength here. It's really giving me the energy of someone comes in. Okay, someone comes in, a masculine energy who may potentially be a father figure, or who may be someone that a person is emotionally connected to, comes in and kind of forces a person to have to make a decision. Okay, it's like you're gonna have to make a decision here, and it's very much demanding, where it's just like either you going to do it or you're not, or you're gonna get down or you're gonna lay down. It's like that kind of thing where it's just like, dang. But it forces a person to have to find their inner strength here. Okay, find their inner voice, find their inner roar. Okay, whatever it is that means to a person. Okay, and really stand on that. Okay, Devil energy, Capricorn energy coming through again. Okay, so there's a lot, like there's barely any wand energy, fire energy for you guys. Okay. And I really feel like this is a kind of energy that puts a person in a corner, and it forces them to have to make a decision here, whether they like it or not. It's not going to be an easy decision, okay? Depending on how a person may be, because fire signs can be really dramatic, okay? We got the Five of Cups here in the reverse. So a person can start to get real dramatic when it comes down having to kind of like let certain things go in order to receive or accept anything new, okay? So we're going to take a little bit of a break, and then we'll come back with Spirit. The advice from Spirit, sorry. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. What is the advice for fire signs? Leo, Sagittarius, Aries energy, sorry. So we have here affection. All right, so let's see what's going on here with this. So it says, think about those you feel great warmth towards. This could be family, friends, or anyone in your life you feel affection for. Is there a friend you haven't heard from in a while, or a family member who could use a quick phone call? Take a moment to reflect on someone you feel genuine and sincere fondness toward and reach out to them. Let them know how you feel. We get so caught up in our daily lives that we often lose contact with people who matter to us. Be the one to instigate the reunion. Get in touch with those you adore and be ready to receive that affection in return. Who do I know has great affection for me, and how does that make me feel? Okay, let's get a crystal / gemstone card. All right, see, y'all be doing the most. Y'all be doing the most. I'm not gonna read all them cards, okay? So we gonna get one, okay? Let's get the advice for fire signs. Okay, so we got one here. It was like 7 that came out. I was like, look. So we have here Cuprite. So it says here, generosity, security, and flow. A humanitarian at heart, Cuprite encourages the practice of helping others without expectations. It assists in facing issues with authority figures, especially your father, in order to become the authority figure in your own life. Cuprite helps release any blame or resistance that may be blocking you from taking responsibility for the decisions you make. Activating the survival gene, Cuprite attracts what we need to make it through challenging moments, increasing our life force and overall vitality. Take the driver's seat. You are ready. All right, Aquarius and Venus. And then we'll close this out with a gratitude card. For you guys, we have here, happiness is itself a kind of gratitude. Joseph Wood Crutch. All right, fire signs, that is all that I have for you all for this week. I hope I was able to help you out in any way, shape, or form. Good luck to you all in your amazing journeys. Until next time, peace.